Hi, Nisa. I'm Junzi. I'm leader of group Jasmani. So I have a few questions to want to ask you about child abuse. So first, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Tugasan. I'm Lisa, and currently I study in KDU University Penang College under UOW programs, and currently taking hospitality and tourism school. And then this is the my third years and the first semesters, and yes.
May I know your age?
Around 24.
Alright, okay. So what is your race and religion?
My race is Chinese, and then my religion is Taoism.
Oh, okay. Alright. So I have the first question for you. What do you think is the most basic aspect of Taoism?
For me, I think that Taoism is basically a way that teaching people to build their strengths and to help the people to know their path believe in the harmony or the life balance. And inside this Taoism, we also have this Tao Te Ching. It means that this will focus on the longevity, health, immortality, and also some knowledge, and then as well as the transformation as well. Yeah.
Okay, so the second question is, what is the role of Taoism religion that guides you?
For me, I think that Taoism's guiding me is that need to trusting others peoples, and besides that, I think survival also important in Taoism, as it can help the individuals to adapt the situations based on when they facing difficulties. They need to adapt the situation and not to giving up. They need to survive by themselves and need to, because there is always solutions in this in this solution, so need to fight for it. Besides that, it also we need to follow the flow and then to get the energy. Basically, the energy is like positive energy, so that we can overcome from the obstacles. And Taoism also have guide me to reject hate, reject intolerance, and live with compassion, harmony, and balance in one life. Yeah, that's all.
Alright, great. So I want to ask you, what is your opinion upon the child abuse issue?
In my opinion, child abuse issue is that parents that feel to act, and they may cause injuries or physical cause injuries, like to make the child have the emotional harms towards the child, and then the child cannot have the ability to grow, like to have
They will suffer.
they will suffer in their life. Yeah.
Okay, so next one, what do you think the causes of child abuse?
First of all, I think is lack of support. As a child, they grow up, they don't have a guidance. They will feel like
No one leading them.
no one listening them, and no one will support them. And when they face difficulties, but no one can guide them. This is one of it. And lack of parenting skill, as because everyone will become parents in one day or become elders in one day. They need to guide people, but they lack of these skills to guide people. This is one of the another things. And next is the history of child abuse, as the child already have the history abuse, means that it might cause like a bad experience on their child life, and this might cause them not to dare to overcome, to solve the problems, or they not willing to listen other people's opinion based on their history of child abuse. And domestic violence is that people might feel that this is a type of violence. They thinks that this child abuse already normal. They thinks that this can't change for the child. They thinking is like that lah, because they feel that this violence, if I say anything but then my parents won't listen or my friends won't listen to me, I think this is the normal things. But actually this child abuse is not normal. It's problems that children face. Yeah.
It's very unhealthy to them.
Yes, unhealthy for them as well.
So yeah, what's the effect or an impact also about after they getting they getting abused by elders?
For me, I think that first is the brain's development, as because people already like judge them and then they can't develop themselves, because for personal, because everyone have their own personality skill, but then they can't develop themselves because they struggle. They want to develop themselves, but they feel like they don't have the confidence to do that, and they won't pay attention when people telling them something, because they think that nobody listen to me.
Yeah.
And another thing is that mental health, as the child will feel very stressed and their mood is not will feel distorted, as people will think the child will think that these things can't be solved and nobody to guide them,
and very
emotional. Lastly is the social difficulties, as because they lack of communications with people, so they might have this problem when they grow up, the child grow up, they will having some social difficulties when deal with people and communicate with people.
Okay, so what are the teachings of Taoism religion that can solve the issue of child abuse? What do you think?
Taoism teaching can solve the issue. Basically, Taoism also have teach us like violence is not acceptable in Taoism, and if there is this kind of violence, it means that there is the sins of these things, like because abuse is a type of violence, and these sins you need to take the consequences if you having these problems, and you need to consequences the illness. So apart from that, Taoism also have teach us not to like lying, killing or stealing, or like treat people bad, so that it's like more encourage people to with their helpful behavior, like helping people using your willingness or your kindness to help the child. Examples like charity, you can like to help the child to feel like more confidence and help the child like to gain some confidence, and to listen to them, try to listen and give them advice.
Okay. So lastly, how Taoism teachings methods that you mentioned can be used to solve child abuse issue?
As we need to find the balance of life as Taoism teachings, and we need to find not just for us ourselves but also others people. We need to find a way or a solutions to help the child to get their balanced life, because I think balanced life is very important, as this can help individuals to improve their skills and improve their confidence as well, and it can help the people to like become healthy, and not just like let the children to suffer this the bad things lah. Yeah, this is what I feel. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So that's all for me. Thank
Yes.
you. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Fong Yushun, and thank you for attending our interview. Okay, so can you introduce yourself first? What's your name?
Okay, my name is Chai Jijiang, and I'm 26 years old, and my religion is the Christian, and
your races is?
my religion is Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the most basic aspect of being a Christian?
So being a Christian, we have to trust the God is the only God, only the Creator God in this world, and the next one, and we have to believe that, and always remember the words of the God that His word is the truth of the world. So
Okay. What I've known that Christian has two types, right? What is the types you're on? The Christian. There are two types of Christian, right?
yeah. So the first time is the Christian, and they always believe to the Jesus, and mine is the Catholic. They are believe to the God and the Christian and the Mary.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that what is the like what are the benefits that being a Christian had brought to your life?
Oh, as a Christian, we learn about the love and the hope, because in our life we always facing some problems, so we have to trust ourselves from helping from the other helping, that we were able to solve the problem.
Okay. And what are your thoughts about the child abuse cases that have been happening in the recent years?
Okay, the child abuse is very serious and very sadness issue, because the child, they are hurt by the adult or their parents, because of their parents is in the pressure. So as usual, the child have to protect by the rule of the country. Yeah. So as a government have to protect them to avoid the sadness issue.
Okay. And what are your thoughts that might be the causes of these child abuse cases?
Yeah, first of all, because some of the family, they is younger to build out the family, so that they haven't prepared themselves to handle the kids problem.
Okay.
The other problem is the financial problem. Some of them, they lack of the power or to handle the family stress.
Okay. Okay, so okay. And for the children that have been abused by their parents, what do you think might happen to them?
The children will feel less confident for their future, right? Because when they are growing, the state of the growing is very important to them. They have to feel more confident from others, something like their parents, to encourage them to solve the problem.
Okay. And what are the teachings that were taught by Christianity that you think can solve these issues, and how would they help to solve it?
Okay. In the teaching of the Bible, the 6 of the 10 commandments is related to the not killing and not hurting others. This commandment is related to the child abuse, and how to avoid the problem is in the Bible. Jesus have always said that when we have to think purely like the children, so that we won't will hurt others by any reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the interview.
Okay.
Okay, with us, and we appreciate your cooperation.
I could believe you.
So 你好，我是 Cedric 老兵猫。So
你好
请问你可以介绍你自己吗？
我是 College Gino。
OK，so 你从哪里来的？
我是从苏梅布丹尼格达来的，
你今年方便讲一下你几岁吗
我22，
？OK，请问你是什么种族的
我是道教的，
？OK，so 你现在在 KU 读书，拿的什么 course？
我是拿着 Culinary Arts。
所以我现在有几个问题想要问你。请问你觉得在道教里面最基本的最基本的 aspect 是什么？
最基本的 aspect 因为在道教跟佛教里面，其实我们有一个东西叫阴阳啦。阴阳就是有一面黑跟有一面白。其实他要告诉我们的意思就是说，我们凡是做什么事情，我们都要跟大自然要成为一个平衡。
请问在道教有什么 role 是可以 guide 你的？
就是做人要善良，然后就是最重要诚实，过后要有纯洁之心。
那么请问你对虐待儿童在现在有什么看法？
我觉得虐待儿童是蛮大的一件事情就是说在新闻上还是在社会上都是形成一个蛮严重的一个 case。我觉得这个是一定要
注重。
对。
OK， 说是什么原因造成这么多虐待儿童的事情？
可能是家庭因素，就 example 是道德观，然后可能教养也是有一部分的责任。
说你觉得有什么后果？如果那个家庭有儿童虐待的话，那个儿子会怎样？
那个孩子会发育状况会是一个很大的问题，过后可能导致他长大了过后他会有一个阴影，一个phobia之类的。
OK，so 如果用道教来，有什么教案可以解决这个问题呢？
最重要那个家长 before 他去虐待他儿童之前，可能他要先静下的心来再想一想，就是凡事先想而后行，而不是一生气就是拿孩子来出气然后就导致虐待他，有些甚至虐待到那个孩子死掉。
就这样结束了。好，谢谢。
So, hi, what is your name?
I'm Rahman.
Where do you from?
I'm from Penang.
Okay, then how old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, so what is your
Studies.
what is your bangsa and your agama?
Okay, my agama is Hindu. My bangsa is Indian.
Okay, so what course are you taking now?
I'm doing advanced culinary.
Okay, so what do you think about the main aspect of your Hindu culture?
Okay, the thing about Hinduism is it's not like some other religions whereby you have to convert and go in, take up their mental, change your name and all of that. But Hinduism is more towards, it's a way of living. You live with it. The teaching and the preaching is all about daily things that you have to do it as a responsible person.
Yeah, you're right. So, what is your main role of your culture to give you as a guidance?
You see, this culture brought us up in this way. People who follow the proper Hinduism culture will ultimately know that every practice that we do is not about religion's sake alone. It's on science a lot. Like Indians have a lot of banana leaf when we have functions, you know. Scientists have recently discovered that, you know, eating in banana leaf is antioxidant and it's very good for your body.
Yes.
See, so that's one of the examples of how things are going on with the Hinduism culture.
Okay. So, all right. What is your opinion about the child abuse cases of child abuse?
You see, there's a fine line between disciplining and abusing a person. Disciplining doesn't necessarily involve hitting or getting physical. It's more about giving them the thought that you have to be a responsible child. As a person, you must be responsible. So, you don't get physical with them, I feel. Physical is one side, but the worst is the mental tortures which they go through. And if that happens for a child, right, it's very unhealthy. And it's going to grow up into something that we don't want it to.
So, you talk about your opinion, right?
Yeah.
What is the reasons that causes the child abuse?
You see, sometimes even a broken marriage, I would say a broken marriage is one of the biggest reason for you to, you know, get abusive from your child. You can't physically or, you know, torture your wife or your husband because they are grown up enough to take necessary actions. But when you show it as a child which is something very pure, they are only going to take it. They're not going to say anything back.
They all keep it in their heart, their mind.
Yeah, and that becomes the toxin which, you know, later on destroys the entire child's life.
So, what do you think about the effects of the child abuse? Just now we talked about.
Yeah, you see, we see two sides of the world. There are people who are having kids which they don't actually mean to have, and some who are married and yearning for a kid. It is better to be better not to exist rather than, you know, existing into the wrong hands, something like that. So I feel that the child it will tend to become very emotionless as it grows up. I mean, it is emotional, but more driven on anger. That's going to be a very bad thing for a child, because they are such a pure soul which come into the world. Everything taught and learned by them is through our teaching. So yeah.
Okay. So, how do you apply your religion to solve the cases of child abuse?
You see, our religion shows that something like the list when we follow to serve a table, right? Let's say, talking from the culinary point of view. When you're serving, our rule is always serve the children first. Children, the elderly, the women, only then the men. So, as being the most dominant gender, we should be treating the young one like a seedling, you know, how you take care of a seedling, a plant which grows up into a tree. So that's how you should nurture them. And the culture shows that, you see, this perspective shows that you have to be attached to the child and give it love, give it the confidence that no matter what kind of problem you face outside, it's going to come back to you. You can come back to us. It's never wrong to fail.
So, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, shut up. Stop it.